global economy, and Turkey in the shadow of war. Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is Saturday, March 12, 2022. You're watching my 9th video. There are two important dates next week. On Wednesday, March 16th, the American Central Bank, namely the Fed, will announce the interest rate decision, and the Central Bank of Turkey on Thursday, March 17th. In United States, inflation hit the record for the last 40 years. Thus, the expectation of an interest rate hike in March was already priced in. In fact, expectation of a 50 basis points increase began to be priced in interest futures contracts until recently. After the Russian attack, this expectation seriously vanished. The supply shock in all kinds of minerals, food and energy caused us to see record prices. Personally, I expect a 25 basis point increase for March, because a stronger rate hike could be a trigger for a global stagflation. Experience has shown that resolving a global recession takes much longer and is much more costly than solving global inflation problem. The situation is very different in Turkey. As known, the currency-protected deposits, which started at the end of December, will start to mature. There will be enormous out-of-budget payments. That's why the dollar-Turkish lira parity needs to be lowered to around 13.5 quickly to lower the overall cost of the scheme to reasonable amounts. It is claimed that the foreign exchange interventions caused huge loss of reserves and did not yield the expected result, causing great disappointment in the economy management. There is an expectation that an interest rate increase will be allowed for the time being, in order not to portray a complete failure in the eyes of the public due to the deposit scheme, considering that the current policy rate is at least 40 full points lower than the official inflation. It is obvious that a change of 3 or 5 points will not affect the general outlook, considering that the rate cut started at the level of 19. A place below this level will be targeted at most for consistency in discourse. Personally, I am of the opinion that the interest rate will be set to 18% with an increase of 400 basis points and foreign exchange interventions to continue at a slower pace and lower amounts. Agricultural Minister Bekir Pakdemirli was dismissed as expected for a long time. It would not be wrong to say that Pakdemirli, who started his duty 3.5 years ago with great expectations from him, went down in history as one of the most unsuccessful ministers of agriculture and forestry ever. Considering that the name that replaced him comes from a similar background, it is very realistic to say that the bad trend will continue. Similarly, the damages caused by the mismanagement of the energy minister, who is expected to be replaced as well very soon, due to his terrible performance, is piling up day by day. If a similar person is going to replace him, his dismissal will not be a solution either. Tailor-made solutions need to be created with Russia on agriculture, tourism and energy. As it is known, we import gas, grain, sunflowers from Russia, export fresh fruits and vegetables, and host Russian tourists intensively. Our country, which is most likely to receive certain exemption approvals from the embargo and isolation policies, has to develop a netting-like practice over Turkish lira accounts to be opened for Russian companies and Russian government with Turkish public banks. Let's hope the exemption does not create another case of Rizel Zarev. It is obvious that the Western world will not tolerate such a spoiled and abusive attitude, and that Turkey will be subject to severe penal sanctions without hesitation this time. It is unrealistic to expect the current ministers of agriculture, energy, tourism and economy to design and implement such a mechanism. It can only be possible with the intervention of Bishtepe Palace consultants. For example, I have not come across any concrete evidence regarding the Black Sea gas, which is claimed by the energy minister to come into household use as of March 2023. To my knowledge, it is necessary to establish a platform on the sea and lay pipes from there to connect to the land for the gas to be used. This technology is not yet available for implementation in our country. If there was an agreement made or to be made with global energy powerhouses, it would have been public information. The interesting thing is that there is no competent name on these issues on the opposition bloc, and the issue is not vocalized properly. Unfortunately, the public's distrust on the opposition bloc is very well justified. It looks very pathetic and lame for the opposition to expect getting votes only by making trash talk. The diplomacy forum in Antalya has been very successful in terms of the government bloc. Apart from that, serious advantages began to emerge in convincing other countries to be positively inclined on solving pile of problems they have with Turkey in the field of diplomacy. The difference between synergetic and successful foreign policy and failing foreign policy became crystal clear in a flash. Upcoming polls most probably will show these concrete gains as vote increases in favor of the government bloc soon. Number one factor in Turkey's partial regain of its reputation in international politics is Bayraktar TB2 armed drones. The number two factor is its patient insistence on mediation efforts by enforcing relations with both Russia and Ukraine. The third important factor is that the Montreux Straits Convention is implemented to the finest detail, and that our country, as a NATO member, puts all its weight in the name of regional peace. We have never been a more decisive actor on armed conflicts that were happening just at our borders previously. I sincerely hope the continuation of these efforts. There is no winner in any war, but at least we can reduce the price we have to pay as a country. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Goodbye.